And was any food grown, or was it all flowers or decoratives?
In the garden area, they had fresh food for the dietary.
So they would consume it here?
Yes. And then we also had work crews that would go out in the community and work the city and Kincaid Lake, Forest Service.
Maintenance stuff?
Yeah, just clearing paths, keeping up, helping grass, because as people needed help, that's what they did, and the community loved it.
We do a lot of work with gardens and all the facilities. Food goes to the food pantries. It's part of the kind of a giving back.
That's great. That's nice. All right. And it was going to be more like 6 or 8 weeks to move out about that.
Yeah, those infants were relatively easy, very quick.
Yeah.
I just want to, while we got
And ready to go.
I'll give you a thumbs up here in a minute. Kind of feeling blue. Okay. Chief, you want to come forward a little bit?
Probably practice Springfield tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
Go Cubbies.
Let me clear. Jim, we get you to come out this way a little bit. Come out this way a little bit, so you're behind the shot. All right, Victor, whenever you're ready.
Ready? Well, good morning, and welcome to the new Life Skills Reentry Center here in Murphysboro. I will tell you what, Illinois' recidivism rate is appalling. Recidivism rate is the number of people after 3 years who come back to us on new charges, old charges. Our recidivism rate is 47.1%. Almost half of the people who serve time in Illinois Department of Corrections comes back to us. That's fundamentally wrong. We are almost the last state in America to try to improve our recidivism rate. And we're going to do more than try. We're going to decrease that dramatically. Why? We need fewer victims. We need fewer victims in this state. Secondly, the people who leave here deserve a second chance. They have served their time. They have served their sentence. They need a viable second chance. It's the state's responsibility to give them that second chance. We also understand that's our duty to make them habilitable as well as rehabilitated. This will be a Life Skills Reentry Center for approximately 300 offenders who are returning to Illinois. And it's our job, it's our responsibility to make sure they return successfully and safely and have a job that is productive. We think the buildings that are here will serve our mission extremely well. We are very, very happy to be here. We're happy by the support of the community, by the legislative support, and we know with your help, we are going to make this a transformational institution in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Thank you very much. It's my honor to introduce to you Senator Luchtefeld. There you are. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I think this is a good day for the area, obviously for all of the reasons that the director gave you from a standpoint of recidivism and certainly from a standpoint of the state. This is a good day. But from the standpoint of this area, when this was closed, you remember what we went through when it was closed, and the people who lost their jobs or had to move. It was very difficult. Somebody who has been relentless and obviously this is her territory. This is her area. It's my territory too, but she lives here. Is Terry Bryant to try to figure out a way that this facility could be used. It is a rather new facility. It is just sitting here. The idea of some sort of a transition center, I think, was always talked about, but it didn't happen. And now that's going to happen. And I think it's really good for the area, obviously good for the state. So again, a good day for us, and I'm just glad to be here. And I'd like to introduce now a person probably who has been the most relentless in trying to create a situation in which this could be reopened, Terry Bryant.
Well, I'm following a lot of tall guys, or preceding some very tall guys, and I have to tell you, relentless is probably the nicest thing that could be said in really how hard we've worked to get this open. As many of you know, this is a facility that a lot of hard work went into to get built, and to have it located here in Murphysboro. And I see our former mayor, Chris Grissom, who played a big part of this. And I know that Congressman Bost, former state representative Mike Bost, wanted to be here this morning. He and Chris worked relentlessly and tirelessly to get this built here. And there are several city council members here, and former members of Department of Corrections, retired, and those who are presently working. When this facility closed, it was like a kick in the teeth, not just to this district, but really to the city of Murphysboro. And it was not really a good thing for the Department of Corrections or the Department of Juvenile Justice to really let a building that is in this good a shape just kind of fall by the wayside. So in taking office, I just live really kind of across the road. This is literally in my backyard. So it became a mission for me to get this reopened, and the governor's plans for reducing recidivism and really getting those who are incarcerated retrained, re-educated, and ready to go back out on the street again. My career in the Department of Corrections started at the work release centers, formerly known as the Glass House in Carbondale. And I'll tell you, in working there, that you could see someone, instead of getting out with $50 gate money, they actually had maybe a couple $1,000s in their pocket. And so the ability to get back out on the street again and actually become a productive citizen was one that was a real, not just a dream for people, but really a reality for many of them. And a facility like this, even though they won't be going out in the community to work, works in that, and really in that same vein. So I think the governor and Director Baldwin are very forward-thinking in doing this. It's been productive in other states. Very excited for what this is going to do for the Department of Corrections, for recidivism, or lack of recidivism in the state, and also what it's going to do for our region. And I'm gonna close my statements by saying, God bless Murphysboro, and God bless the state of Illinois. Oh, and yeah. So I guess I'm introducing BVR.
And God bless Terry Bryant.
Oh, thanks, Governor. Thank you. Thank you.
No, this is a very, very good day for the people of Illinois. The people of Southern Illinois, but all the people of Illinois across our state. This is about improving the future quality of life for all the people here. When we came into office a year and a half ago, early last year, it was clear we needed big change. We needed to transform a lot of things about the state of Illinois. We've been going down a bad road for a long time, mismanagement at every level. And we needed to change three types of things. We needed political reform, we needed economic reform to grow more good-paying jobs, and we needed government reform. Political reform, we need term limits and fair maps. We're going to stay on that. It's important to restore democracy in Illinois. On economic reform, we need more good-paying jobs, especially here in Southern Illinois. We've got such hard-working people in a great location. We need more good-paying jobs, and to do that, we got to become more competitive. Our regulations got to get reduced. We got to get our insurance costs for workers' comp and for tort liability system changed so we're competitive with other states. I'm a competitive son of a gun. I love Illinois. I love Southern Illinois. I'm here all the time. And it frosts me no end that Indiana's grown 84,000 manufacturing jobs the last 6-7 years. Wisconsin's grown 44,000 manufacturing jobs, and we've grown none. You know what? That ain't acceptable. That is wrong. We got better people here. We got a better location here, and we're going to change that and become more competitive so we can grow good jobs here in Murphysboro and all over Illinois. We also need to reform our government. Our government hadn't been working for the people. We've been doing a lousy job. And one of the things that we haven't done well is run our correction system the right way. This facility never should have been closed. This is a good facility. It's modern. It's well. And we got budget trouble. We've had budget trouble for decades. We've always been spending more money than we bring in. We're changing that. Change is hard, but we'll get there. But we got to make sure that our facilities are run the right way for the people of the state. Right now, our facilities are not being run well for our corrections officers or for our offenders, and we've got to change it. It's going to take time, but this is an important step in the right direction. So we're announcing an important step for our correction system today. And we are reopening this facility as a life skills and a reentry facility. There's probably capacity will probably be somewhere around 300 offenders who are coming back into society. We want, after somebody's been punished for a crime, we can keep our communities safer. We can reduce crime if we give them skills so they're not right back doing illegal things again. They got job skills, they got some education, they got some training, they got some support, so when they get released, they're not right back going into bad things, and they've got an opportunity to build a better life. We have got to do this. We got to stop the revolving door, because our communities are more dangerous, our families are less safe if we got this revolving door going on. So we need more reentry, training, education, and support, and we need rehabilitation. We got to get the folks who've got mental health issues treated. We got to get the folks who've got addiction problems treated, get them some life skills, and then they can be productive citizens. And our neighbors, our families will be safer if we can do this. We've also got to change our facilities. We're not only opening this, we are closing a particularly bad facility up in Stateville. You know, there's the only remaining roundhouse prison in America, built in 1922. It's crumbling, it's falling down, it's noisy, it's dangerous, it's bad for our corrections officers, it's bad for the offenders. It's a terrible place. And it's I don't know if any of you have been there or seen the pictures. I mean, if you spend time in there, you'll have mental health issues. I mean, it's a tough, nasty place. It's depressing, it's loud, dangerous. It shouldn't be. We should have closed that years ago. And we don't want people to lose their jobs, so our corrections officers there will get reassigned to both within Stateville and other facilities. Nobody's going to lose their jobs, but that facility, and it's decaying, it's going to take a lot of money to maintain, and it's not good for our system. And it frankly works against our efforts on recidivism, because anybody who spends a lot of time there, they're probably not psychologically or emotionally in a place where they're going to be very productive when they come out of there. So we're going to close that. We're going to reopen this, and over time we want to optimize so our system gets results, keeps our families safer, brings back people so they can lead productive lives, and helps our corrections officers support their good work, and so they can have great careers in a proper environment where they're fully supported. And that's what today is all about. So thank you all for being out here today. It's a great step in the right direction, and then we can open it up now for questions. But again, thank you for our corrections officers. Thank you for the community of Murphysboro. Thank you for your belief in the better quality future for everybody here. Thanks, everybody. So let's open up, and anybody, feel free. I'll answer some, but anybody can answer questions.
Jobs, Russell. Jobs.
Yeah, so I don't know, John, you want to talk about?
Yes. There were, initially, we're looking at about 120, and that will be over a period of time as we shake the institution down in a sense of a treatment plan. So count on that. It may be slightly more than that over time.
Governor Rauner, could you give us a timeline of what it takes to get this facility open, when it's going to be open, and what are the types of life skills programs that are going to be offered?
Yeah, and I'd encourage some other to join in. So closing F House, the unit up in Stateville, the roundhouse there, it's probably 6 to 8 weeks to close that. We've got available beds for the inmates there in other facilities, both in Stateville and other places. We are doing a comprehensive strategic reassessment and recategorization classification of our offenders. We haven't done a reclassification since, I think, or any classification since 1988. And the science, the technology of this has evolved quite a bit in the last 30 years. So we're going to assess high risk, make sure that the people are being incarcerated, but also treated in the appropriate level for where they are in their process of the correction system. So that's ongoing, and that's Director Baldwin told me, I was asking him this morning, that should be done here in the next couple months. We'll have a classification system that makes more sense, keeps our corrections officers safer, and helps our offenders be properly treated and managed within the system. Reopening this facility, I was asking Randy about this. To be conservative, we think 6 months, but we want to under promise and over deliver. We want to come in under budget and faster than that, but we think about 6 months. You can see, I don't know if you came on the tour, this is a nice facility, and the team's done an extraordinary job of keeping it in high quality condition, ready to be used. Needs some some maintenance items or whatever, but it's ready to go. It's modern, it's clean, it's a good facility, and this will be productive for the people who. It's basically a transition where school classes will be going on. They'll learn life skills, technical skills, vocational skills, get mental health counseling, etc. So they're ready to come back in and lead productive lives in this reentry program.
How much will it cost, and where's the money coming from?
Okay, so somebody maybe can weigh in with real specific numbers. This long run will save significant money. In the short run, it's going to cost a little bit more money. Now we're going to save some money and avoid a lot of maintenance costs in the Roundhouse in Building F up in Stateville. To fix this up is going to cost some money. We got to restore certain parts of it. It's going to cost us a little bit of money in the short run, but this is what we've been making the mistake in Illinois for years. We say, well, we got a budget trouble and we're going to spend nothing, and then it costs you 5 or 10 times as much a couple years later. So we got to invest in our facilities, invest in this one, and this, if we do it right, we can stop the recidivism. We can lead people productive lives. The offenders can become taxpayers. The offenders can have jobs, and our communities will be safer. And in the long run, it saves us money. So success for this reentry here will save us a lot of money.
When this was open before, there were talk, people would go out in the community and work for the Forest Service and things like that. Mm-hmm. Will that trend continue?
My understanding is yes. Does anybody want to weigh in on that?
It's an option.
I think we're going to. What we want is our offenders. They need to be punished. They need to be kept away. So but there's a transition back, and when we bring them back, let's just not throw them in the street with no support and back. They're right back in a position where they feel like they got to do something illegal to support themselves again. That makes our communities less safe. We've got to change that.
Governor, how does this money become available?
Well, what we got to do is reallocate and be efficient in some places and save money in some and put it into others. And that's our administration's been doing that for the last 18 months. $1 million here or there, that's a lot of money, but in the scheme of the state government and where we're spending, we'll find it. It's there. The important thing is it'll cost a little more in the short run, save a lot in the long run, and keep our communities safer.
Can we get an exact number of how much?
Yeah, we can give you all the detail, and if you do that now, or we can send it to you so you can put it in your report.
Okay. And could you talk a little bit about why is this facility a better investment than the Hardin County Work Camp?
Yeah. So I'm very frustrated. There's some folks who say, well, let's just reopen it. Folks who've been in office and didn't fund that facility, didn't maintain that facility, are now running around saying, oh, it's terrible, it should be reopened. We've got to look who's been calling the shots for a while. The legislature did not invest in that facility. It got burned. It's been allowed to deteriorate. It would be extremely expensive to reopen that. And the cost-benefit analysis doesn't work anymore. That facility should have been maintained for years. That's part of the mismanagement that's gone on in the legislature for a long time, and frankly in prior administrations. At this point, that facility does not make economic sense to reopen. This one does.
Essentially because it's been kept up pretty much?
Yeah, it's a newer facility. The nature of the construction is different. The nature of the layout's different. This can be a great reentry facility, an education facility. Hardin, what's happened to it with the fire and with the lack of maintenance, it's in a position where the cost benefit just doesn't make sense.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.